Hi everyone, my name is Leslie. Thanks for joining me on Teaching Blog Addict today. I want to give you a 3-step tutorial on how to create a blog button, how to turn that blog button into an image, and lastly, how to put that blog button up onto your website with code that other people can grab so that they can feature your blog as one that they love. So let's begin by starting out with a program that all teachers know how to use, or most teachers know how to use or have readily available to them. So what I'd like to begin with is by showing you how to use Microsoft Word. This is the latest version, and so here's a blog button that I just made 2 days ago for a fake blog that's called Kinder Bliss. And this has muted colors, so it may not be exactly your style, but the things that I'm teaching you today you can take and apply to creating a blog button that fits the look of your blog. So what I'm going to show you is the different parts of this blog button that I've made. So you'll see that I have 2 boxes, one is in front of the other. I have a text box that says Kinder, and then I have a separate one that says Bliss. And the last portion that I have here is the pineapple. And I'm going to show you how to incorporate all of these pieces so you can do layered backgrounds, you can do text to show the name of your blog, as well as inserting little images or pictures. So let's begin with a blank page. You're going to want to use the Insert tab where you can click for adding clip art, shapes, as well as text boxes. These are the main features we're going to be using. So we're going to start out by drawing a shape. I happen to like the rounded rectangle, and that's what I'm going to use to show you today. By holding down the Shift key, I can create an exact square without having any of the rectangular size that I'm not looking for. I can have this exact square which fits great on all sidebars. Now this happened to turn mine blue automatically, but that's not the look I'm going for. What I want to do is I want to change the outline to no outline. Then I want to change the fill. You can just choose a straight color if you'd like, or if you want some texture like I showed you, we can use a gradient. And in my example I showed you, I had dark purple in the center to a light purple on the outside, and that's what I'm going to choose for this time. Let's go back to the shape fill, and let's go back to the gradient, and let's choose more. This gives me the option of changing the fill. I can go instead of from a dark blue to from a darker purple to a medium purple to a light purple. And let me even go a little bit lighter than that. That'll allow me to go ahead and have a little bit of texture to my blog button. What I'd like to do next is I'm going to copy and paste so I get the exact same image twice. I'm doing that just because I want to keep the size exactly the same. I'm going to take my second box that I have, and I'm going to hold down the Shift key, and you'll notice that it's going to make mine bigger. That's one option when you're resizing and you want to keep something the same size. Second option I'm going to use is I'm going to hold down the Control key, and I'm going to grab the sides, which is going to make all of my sides changing at the same time. And I'm going to select just slightly larger on all sides, and you can see that transparent. Now this new shape, I actually want this to be my background. So I'm just going to fill it with black. And then I need to send this behind or all the way to the back, so that way the purple one shows up in front. You can do that by right-clicking, and you'll see this send to front, send to back, and bring to front options, or sometimes you'll see those options up here. I'm going to send it to the back. And there you have a blog button that also has an outline of a nice different thickness, and you can change that to fit the look of your blog. If you like it a little bit thicker or a little bit skinnier, that's up to you. Now if you happen to have a blog design that you would like to take the, let's say, background from, if you have one that has a neat background, using your snipping tool is a great idea for maybe snipping a portion of your pattern. And you can always copy that and paste that right in and use that in your blog design. But for this example, I'm going to go next to showing you how to bring in text. There's 2 different ways. And for most people, you're going to want to insert a text box, just a plain one that you get to draw right on top. You won't want to have an outline, and you won't want to have it filled, you'll want to have it transparent. And that way you'll be able to type in your own text that you want, and then be able to change the font style. For this example, I'm going to show you another way. You can also create different colors with this, and you can also create shadows and backgrounds. But if you would like someone to have already figured that out for you, let me show you a shortcut. So I'm going to go to Insert, and instead of inserting a text box, I'm going to insert word art. And word art is a great way that they already have colors pre-chosen for you that you can choose from if you happen to like any of these that you can start with. I'm going to go ahead and change my text. And I would like to change this font to match the style of my blog, which I use this from kevinandamanda.com. I'm going to change the font size so it fits better in my button. Yeah, a little bit smaller. Great. So there's my first portion of my button with text. I'm going to go back and do the exact same. Choose word art, but this time I'm going to choose a different one. I recommend that you stick to 2 to 3 types of fonts instead of going crazy and choosing 6 or 7, and a couple colors in order to play with. So here I'm bringing the black color back in, and I'm going to be using a second font. That way it's just easier on the eye. And you can see that even though other people could choose the same word art that you did, it would look different than theirs because you could choose a different font. Part of what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and rotate it. And there's the basic look of my blog button. If you're looking to input some clip art, you can always import some that you have purchased yourself or have access to, but Microsoft Office also has a great set of clip art that you can use. And so once you download your picture, you can go ahead and import it right into Microsoft Word. There it is. Now if I just took this and tried to drag it, it might try to put it inside of one of my boxes and mess with what I'm doing. So what I want to do before I begin moving it around is I want to take it and I want to tell it that it needs to go ahead and go in front of all the text. It needs to be in front of everything else. So then it changes it to an object rather than something you want to try and put in with all the other text. So now I can lay it right on top and it won't mess with anything else that I've created. I can always move it back a little bit. If I wanted to send it backwards behind one object, I can do that. A fun way to take clip art that's readily available and to change it so that it's more of your own, you can use these artistic effects underneath the Format button, the tab. So in my example, I use this as a neat way to take a tropical version of the teacher apple, the pineapple, and turn it into something that's a little bit more unique. And let's go ahead and send that backward just one. If you send it to the back, it goes all the way to the back and it hides behind everything. But you can just send it backwards 1, and you can send it backwards 2, which then it would go behind this, even though it wouldn't show up. But that's totally up to you to create the kind of look that you want. And that's the end of the first tutorial that shows you the basic steps to creating the look of your blog button. I hope you'll join me back in tutorial 2, where I show you how to take this image and turn it into a picture that you can upload anywhere online. Thanks!